Oh shit, she's about to fail her squat.
Oh shit.
No,
Alright, someone help her, man.
She's got a camera. I'm not a gym creep.
I'm not a gym creep either.
I need food.
She needs
I'm
help.
hungry.
I'm
hungry. I'm married.
Someone help.
I'm married.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm married.
It's crazy out there, guys. There are so many cases today where you get to know of a woman asking for help or looking for help. And after a man helps her out, she blames him for one thing or another. And the guy ends up in serious trouble.
Oh, sorry, I'm actually blind. That's a sentence I have to say a lot as a blind person. Once I was in the gym minding my own business on a machine doing whatever exercise, and I hear someone a few meters away say, "Oh, do you like the view?" I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh, we've got a bit of a gym creep here. I wonder what idiot is looking at this poor woman, making her uncomfortable. I don't hear a response from whoever she's talking to, but then I hear again, much closer to me now, did you hear me? Why are you staring at me? Now, I don't look stereotypically blind, but one thing I do, especially when I'm focusing, is just stare into the distance. And it turns out that I was unfortunately staring right at this woman while she was doing her exercise. I replied to the woman, who's now inches from my face, all up in my area. I say, I'm very sorry, didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm actually blind. I was not staring at you, I was staring at nothing. She's not having any of it. She tells me to shut up, calls me a creep, storms off, gets a gym worker. I plead my innocence to them, but they are not listening to me. I was removed from the gym that day. The gym should be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable, but I promise you, not every guy in the gym is a creep.
The woman who cried wolf about a blind man staring at her being a creep was the nail in the coffin for my training around women. Not only did she really accuse him of staring, which was physically impossible, but she stuck to her guns after he showed the gym staff his card for being legally blind, and she told him he shouldn't make women uncomfortable. I didn't think it could get worse than that, until I saw this one about a woman pressing charges at a man who performed CPR on her for nearly drowning, therefore attempting to vilify the man who saved her life. It's like no good deed goes unpunished when it comes to modern women, I swear. Similar to the woman nearly drowning at the pool, another woman nearly drowned at a beach. A man looked around but saw that the lifeguard was off duty. He raced out to her and swam back to shore with her thrown on his back. After spending 3 days in the hospital, she tried suing the beach at first. When that didn't go anywhere, she tried suing her savior for $160,000. The case actually made it to court but was eventually dropped. How anyone can go after someone who saved their life is beyond me. Once the case was dropped, he said if he had to, he'd save her all over again. He just wouldn't stick around to leave his name afterward. This is a story I read online. Back in 2016, my wife noticed 2 women were stranded about 2 hours from the closest town. We were out hiking with some friends. They had a flat tire and my wife said we should help. Sure, no problem. These 2 women did nothing to help one bit, not even clearing weight out the back of their vehicle to make sure the small jack could actually lift the vehicle. Well, the jack still broke, slamming my hand between the tire and wheel. Nothing broke, thankfully, but had to rush off to the ER as my hand was massive. Ever since then, I won't stop to help. Also, I do not allow another woman in the room or car with me unless my wife is with me. A male friend of mine joined a man-only gym last year. He was sick of having to wait for TikTokers, whom he said were almost always 18 to 30-year-old women, to finish their recording before the machine was free, whilst they did no actual exercise or lifts on them. This came to a head when he politely asked one of these women if they'd let him know when they were finished. So she took offense at being harassed and harried and decided to complain to the female manager, who then cautioned my friend without allowing him to say what happened. He'd been using that gym for years and saw it devolving into not much more than a stage for internet show-offs and attention seekers with no intention of working out. Funnily, this gym is now actually advertising free passes, assumedly because others have walked too. Better safe than sorry. Women are way too triggered and predatory these days. I don't initiate conversations with anyone in the gym unless I know them well. If someone needs help, they can ask me and I will help. If someone is in immediate jeopardy, I will help them ask or not. The gym is my oasis and is not a social activity for me. Being in the gym every day for 40 years without a problem must mean I'm doing something right. Men and women today need to grow up and be reminded they are no longer in a grade school yard at recess. The funny thing is, the modestly dressed women at the gym are often way hotter than the ones wearing the most revealing clothing possible. It must really piss them off that no matter how much they try to look hot, the women working out in sweats and a t-shirt are outshining them without even giving a shit what they look like. Dress codes in gyms and a ban on videos would be a step in the right direction. There is no good reason for women to wear revealing outfits while exercising other than to be noticed. I know this for a fact. I had a friend who managed a gym and spa that had separate facilities such as a locker room, equipment section, steam room, bathroom, showers, and sauna for men and women. Certain women, dressed in incredibly tight suits, would go to the men's equipment section and just loiter around. A few of the guys once complained that these women were in their section most of the time, prancing around and not working out. And if they're going to come in here, they should work out. And get this. These were straight guys whose only problem was that these girls were in their way, interrupting them by trying to strike up conversations. Some women don't realize that a guy looking in their direction doesn't mean he's attracted to them. Besides that, women get angry if an unattractive guy looks at them, and all giggly when an attractive guy looks at them. It's hypocritical. They don't realize that they can't choose who looks at them. People don't think and then act, they act and then rationalize. That's worth remembering, especially in this context. Gym businesses simply cannot sustain a man's gym or a woman's gym. If possible, the gym should prohibit cameras and videos for personal business, such as for influencers. Women experience creeps in the minority but assume most men are like that, so they become hyper-aware to protect themselves. But the men who are getting blamed are done so by the minority of women, and in response men withdraw in order to protect themselves. All of which is sensitive to some degree, though we all need to learn to interact with each other respectfully. Take phones away from the gym and just treat each other with dignity and respect. The sad thing is these women are spoiling it for the majority of good women out there who actually want to be approached in person. If you're a man with value and in decent shape, approaching a woman in person and giving her a compliment will make her day, provided she's a good woman. I've had women tell me they desire someone who'll approach them in person, not the ones who approach online via text or DMs. Gyms across the world are that one place where people go to work on themselves, find peace, and even help each other out if they're confused. That's the gym spirit. Sadly, that spirit has been broken by scores of female influencers who want to work out their egos and publish it online for the world to see, but will complain about the one guy who glanced at her when she was recording. Of course, if it's a good-looking man, the recording keeps on and the woman keeps doing her thing happily. But if it's an ugly guy, then he gets to be called a creep. There's another perspective that believes in the opposite, though. Separate gyms work from an idealistic standpoint, but it won't work because of simple reasons. From a financial standpoint, they would make male-only gyms since that is the bigger consumer base, and women will suffer and make a big deal out of it all over social media. And the company who made the gym will be sued and charged for being a misogynist. If someone were to make a woman-only gym, barely any women would use it since so many go there for attention from men anyway, and the gym would probably be forced to shut down in a few months after going massively into debt with the break-even point completely unobtainable. It would need to be community funded, so technically it could happen, and men wouldn't complain like women do, so it would work. Can't believe this is something that has become an issue in our society today. Not surprising, I guess, with the craziness that's been going on the last 2 decades. Honestly, society, I think, is taking major steps backward, and it's not stopping. We are not progressing forward. I think we as men need to set up our boundaries. Don't be afraid to voice what you think to women, instead of avoiding women altogether. Just tell them straight up. If all men did that, women would have to change. Any woman recording anything at the gym must be treated as a creep, publicly shamed, ostracized, and reported to the gym's management and the police. A two-way street. The same way that men changed after women started recording in the gyms. Or a group of men can hire a space, buy equipment, and create an exclusive fitness club, hire 2 personal trainers, and have exclusive access to the facility. Regular contributions would be to cater to the trainers' salaries, utilities, and rent. It may seem expensive at first, but worthwhile considering the amount of nonsense you end up avoiding. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.